DreAllDay.com.
Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you have expected to achieve is nowhere to be found. You have yet to achieve it. And on top of all this, let me give you a little bit more because I just like to over deliver. We're gonna make sure you get the personal initiative. This is the go-getter energy that will move you to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. How would you like that? Would that help you? Do you think that would provide some value to your life? You would actually go make stuff happen instead of sitting around hoping that it happens or waiting for something to happen to you? Good, because that's what you're gonna get here. We're gonna put all this together into one centered philosophy, one mindset. There's a book that I wrote on this topic, this whole concept, this whole philosophy is in a book. There's this show you're listening to right here. It is the masterclass that is called Work on Your Game. If you didn't know, now you know. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic is managing your frustrations. When things are not going right, making sure that you are targeting your energy towards where it needs to go instead of where maybe it's convenient to place it. That's what we're talking about here today. I'll tell you a story that led to me thinking of this exact topic. I was probably in high school, maybe high school age, maybe college, I don't know. But I was at home one day. I was the only one home, and this is when I was in school at some point, and both of my parents were out at work. And I was downstairs, maybe in the living room or something, and I heard somebody walking in the walkway outside in front of our house or in between our house and the next house. And I kind of look out the window just to see who it is, and it looks like it's a guy from Pico. And this is the Pennsylvania Electric Company, because this is in Philadelphia where I grew up. So I could tell by his uniform, and the truck was parked outside. I could see a little bit of the truck. He had the Pico uniform on, so maybe he was just coming to do a reading on the electric meter. I don't know how the electric companies work or what they do. But in the state of Pennsylvania, everybody's electric meter is outside of their home. Even in apartment buildings, there's a whole bunch of them together outside of the home. Everybody's meter is outside. So the electric guy didn't knock on the door because we didn't have a scheduled appointment or nothing like that, at least not that I knew of. Nobody told me. But the electric guy never knocked on the door. He just walked up to where the meter was, and he had his little clipboard or chart or whatever it was that he was doing. And I kind of watched him a little bit, but it became clear that he wasn't going to knock on the door. He was just looking at the meter. So I really stopped paying attention to the guy. But about 2 to 3 minutes after I noticed him walking up to the meter, all the power in the house went out. All the power went out. And then I looked outside after all the power went out, and I was like, man, I know that was an electric guy. Why'd all the power go out? And he left. Once he was gone, I went outside. He got in his truck and drove out. I went outside and I looked at the electrical meter, because all he did was he was just looking at the electric meter. He had put this metal ring around the electric meter, and now all the electricity was not working. So apparently, I learned this in this situation. Any of you in the state of Pennsylvania, maybe you know about this, but if you don't, now you're gonna know. When you, for whatever reason, have not paid your electric bill, enough time has passed and that bill has not been paid, the electric company will send a technician to your home, and since the meter is outside of your house, they don't have to deal with you. They put this metal ring, I don't know if it's just a regular metal ring, if it's a special ring made specifically for the meters, whatever. That ring goes around your electrical meter, and it effectively shuts off all the electricity to your house. All your power gets completely turned off because the bill has not been paid. Now, I didn't know about the bill thing yet, because the first thing I did was call one of my parents. I think I might have called my dad first, so I don't know who I called first. But anyway, the word got to them that the electricity had been turned off. And then they conversed amongst themselves, and my mom did something. Either she had me call or she called or something happened, and they obviously, when you do that to somebody and they're still living in their house, they got to do something. So they made a couple phone calls, got made, that bill got paid, whatever was owed to the electric company, and electricity came back on probably within the next 20 to 30 minutes. The technician came back out and took the ring off, and the electricity started working all over again. Later on that day, my mom got an attitude with me. She got mad at me and directed some of her ire in my direction, only because I just happened to be the messenger who was home when the electricity got turned off. And I protested a little bit. Now, I don't know what kind of household any of you grew up in, but in the household that I grew up in, the children didn't do any protesting. Okay, there was no protesting in the house that I grew up in. But this time, I did protest a little bit. I protested and letting my mother know, like, hey, I'm not the one who did whatever it was that caused the electricity to go off was not my fault. I'm just the one who told you that it happened. And she came up with some convoluted response as to why she still had a right to direct her energy towards me. And we're gonna talk about all this here today. And I wasn't the one who didn't pay the electric bill. I mean, I know that for a fact, and she knows that for a fact. And if she remembers this, I don't know if she's listening, but if she remembers this story, then she knows for a fact I wasn't the problem there. It was whoever was supposed to pay that bill ain't pay that bill, and that person was not Dre. But anyway, I thought of this actually a couple days ago when I was at Whole Foods, and for whatever reason, my payment card, when I paid, it didn't work all the way. And I later realized that the reason that my card didn't work, it didn't pay off the entire bill at Whole Foods, whatever it was supposed to pay, it only paid some of it, is because I had used the wrong card, a simple oversight on my part, earlier in the day for a different payment. But as soon as I realized that, as soon as it happened, as soon as I realized, oh man, I used the wrong card before, so now this card is not working, and I had mixed up payments on different cards and all this stuff, so different accounts got messed up because of a simple oversight that was completely my responsibility. But as soon as it happened, my immediate response internally, I didn't say anything. My immediate response inside of me was to get annoyed at the people that I was paying, or the people who I had already paid earlier in that day, when it wasn't their fault. All they just expected was to get paid. They didn't know what card I was using, who paid it, what account it came from, or anything. It was just a mistake on my part, but I started to get annoyed at them. That was like my knee-jerk reaction. Again, I didn't say anything. It was just a thought that was going on in my head. And it got me thinking about how my mom did the same thing, but she went and actually verbalized it, and she had plenty of time to cool off. I cooled off immediately once I realized it, and what I did do is, I have more productive ways of letting my energies out. When I get frustrated or angry or pissed off about something, I just go make a masterclass episode about it that will help you, because I'm assuming, hopefully I'm correct, that some of you have gone through these mental challenges as well at different parts of your life. So today what we're talking about is managing our energies and making sure that when we have issues, because we all have issues in life, that we focus on the real issues and not just on the symptoms, and make sure that when we direct our energy, we're directing it towards actually fixing the issue instead of getting angry or frustrated with the symptoms of the issue, whatever the issue may be. Point number one, today's topic once again is managing your frustrations. Number one, leaders focus on solutions, not problems. If you want to be a leader in life, you must focus on solutions. I told you this in masterclass number 1298, how to be a solution-oriented person. Masterclass 793, the problem is not the solution. So oftentimes when we recognize that there's a problem, the solution may not be to do the exact opposite of the problem. It may be something completely different from how the problem actually showed itself. And in masterclass number 1471, how to always find solutions in life. And we talk about problems as well many times. I'm not going to list all of those, but we'll get to those when we get to them. But if you're a gang group member, all you got to do is click on the master list tab inside of the gang group membership, and you can see a list of every masterclass that's ever come out on this show. Use the find function in your browser to find any specific keyword or any specific topic. Don't try to read through all of them. That might take you a long time. But leaders, we're here on point number one, topic once again, managing your frustrations. Once a problem has been identified, the next step for a leader is solving the problem. And thusly, before you even do that, situating yourself so that this problem, whatever it is, whatever this issue is, once you get to getting into the solution, making sure that this problem doesn't become a problem ever again. All right, if you don't want to keep having the same problem over and over again, right? Because if you're having the same problem over and over again, that means you might be the problem. All right, if you're having the same problem more than one time, it might not be the problems, it might not be the people, might not be the system, might not be the environment or the economy, it might be you. I told you this in masterclass number 781. If you keep having the same problem, you are the problem. Yes, I did a masterclass on this already. Again, that's masterclass number 781. You keep having the same problem, you are the problem. While you may not be able to always solve every issue that comes up in your life so simply as we can talk about it, the focus on solutions is what makes you eligible to figure it out. See, if you don't focus on a solution, but instead you focus on the problem, or even worse, you focus on the symptoms of a problem, meaning somebody pointed something out, or right now as I'm recording, I'm sitting in this chair and my lower back was hurting a little bit, or I felt a little twinge in my lower back earlier today, and I don't have back problems. Ever since I started doing yoga, probably about 7-8 years ago, I haven't had any back problems whatsoever, but my back was feeling a little bit tight, and I'm wondering where it was coming from. I hadn't lifted any heavy weights because the gyms aren't even open all the way in Miami yet at the time that I'm recording this. So I know it wasn't from that. I haven't been in any high impact sports or banging into anybody. I know it wasn't that. I haven't tweaked myself in any way. It had to be the way that I'm sitting in this chair. So I could get mad at the symptom of my lower back hurting, but that's not the actual problem. The problem is probably my posture when I'm sitting in this seat, just the way the seat is situated and the height off the floor and where my feet are and how I'm allowing my spine to be aligned. Those are the actual problems. So I need to situate myself by adjusting the way that I sit when I'm sitting in this chair, because I spend so much time at this desk, I need to adjust the way that I'm sitting in this chair so that I no longer have this problem again. But I can't get mad at the symptoms of my lower back hurting. So if I go take some Advil for my lower back pain, that does not solve the actual problem. That will solve the symptom, but it doesn't solve the problem. I'll keep having the problem, and then I'll just become addicted to painkillers because I'm trying to solve a symptom instead of addressing the actual underlying issue that is causing the symptom. And this is what a lot of people do in life. We start focusing on the underlying, not the underlying issue. We focus on the surface things, the things that we notice that are coming out, but then we don't address the actual issue. We address the fact that the electricity got cut off. We get mad at the electric company, but we should be mad at ourselves if we didn't pay the damn electric bill. Now, you know when you sign up for electricity, you got to pay a bill, right? So don't be mad at them for turning it off because you didn't pay. Be mad at yourself for not paying, or mad at yourself for not having the money in the place at the right time to pay. All right, that's what you actually be mad at. That's the underlying issue, right? So while you may not be able to solve everything so simply, that may not be as simple as abracadabra to solve that issue, right? You must still focus on the solution so you become eligible to figure it out. You see, if I had only focused on the fact that my back was bothering me, I wouldn't become eligible to fix the actual underlying issue of it's my posture and how I'm sitting in this seat that is causing the fact that my back is bothering me. A lot of times in life, we never become eligible to solve a problem because we never focus on the solution. We only focus on the problem or the symptom of the problem. That's usually what most people do. Most of us don't even focus on the actual problem. We focus on the symptom of the problem and not the thing that we actually need to fix. And that, only seeing problems, usually leads to frustration. If all you see when you look around is problem, you're probably gonna become a pretty frustrated individual. Or if you don't become frustrated by looking at the problem, then maybe you're kind of depressed, or I don't know what other way to describe you. If you're seeing problems and you don't see a problem with having all those problems, something may be up. I don't know. You might want to see a clinician, a licensed practitioner. Point number 2. Today's topic is managing your frustrations. Point number 2: leaders and change makers assume ownership, meaning they look for ways to affect a situation instead of looking for people to blame in a situation. Let me repeat. Leaders and change makers, this is not everybody, leaders and change makers assume ownership. They are always looking for ways to affect a situation. What can I do to alter this situation instead of looking for people to blame over the situation? Those who are not leaders and change makers, maybe those who are followers, those who are sheep, the lambs out there, those who just don't have any direction, they don't really know where they're going, the vagabonds of life, they usually focus on people to blame over a situation. The person to blame is never them, it's always somebody else. Leaders take ownership. Even if they are not the one who caused the situation, they take ownership and responsibility for it. They don't take blame, but they take ownership. But okay, I didn't cause this problem, but I'm going to take responsibility for making sure this problem gets fixed. That's what a leader does. They take ownership of the whole situation, even though 98% of it is not even their doing. So for you to do this, if you're going to be this leader or a change maker, the requirement is that you, first of all, when you notice something is not right, you stop yourself, slow down, and take a deep breath before you pop off on someone else who is not to blame for the situation, or before you pop off on the person who is to blame for the situation. Because even if they messed up and you need to let them know something about themselves, you may want to let them know in a more tactful way than maybe what your immediate reaction might be. Especially if you happen to be a person who is prone to anger, a person who is very sharp of the tongue, a person who you know that you can be very biting with your commentary to other people. You might want to take a deep breath before you pop off on them, because saying something, people remember things that get said to them and how you make them feel even much more than the things that you do. So you want to be careful with that. especially if it's someone that you plan on having a long-term relations and long-term interaction with. All right, that person that you may be mad at, maybe they did mess up, but maybe they just represent the issue. Like me representing the issue with my mom, I represented the fact that she hadn't paid the damn electric bill when electricity got cut off, but I wasn't the reason it got cut off. So make sure you are not getting angry at the representative of the issue rather than directing your energy, doesn't have to be anger, but whatever energy, towards the actual issue. All right, this is an emotional control challenge for you to handle. All right, I've already told you are in the emotional management business in masterclass number 560. You are in the emotional management business. All right, so if you don't know about that, go listen to masterclass number 560. And those of you who are in the game group membership, which you are if you're listening to me right now, go to, that will be in the playlist group 500 to 600. I mean, you know how to count. All you got to do is look up masterclass 560 and listen to that. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is managing your frustrations. Remember something. The bigger the person, the bigger the problems that they can handle, as we just talked about yesterday. You may incur some frustration in the process of handling problems. Actually, I can take may out of there. Let's change that may to will. You will incur some frustration in the process of handling problems, especially if you're handling bigger problems, bigger and bigger and bigger based on where you've been so far in your life. You will incur frustration. There will be times you're like, I don't know what the hell to do in this situation. This is absolutely not working. I'm not getting any kind of result right here, and you're going to deal with frustration. All right, you will feel that you're trying things and you're coming up with this solution, you're trying that solution, you're trying this thing, and nothing seems to be working out. You're going to deal with that. If you haven't already, trust me, you will. As long as you're a leader, as long as you're trying to grow, you will deal with frustration. However, your job is to manage your energy, that frustration, manage your state, and handle your business. And your business, just in case nobody ever told you, is results-based. You are in the results business. I think somebody might have told you that before. That's masterclass number 1443. I was making sure I'm saying to myself, I know I did a masterclass on this. Masterclass number 1443, you are in a results-based business. So manage your energy and make sure you are directing that energy towards what you get paid for. And you know what they pay you for? Not being frustrated, not for directing blame, not for pointing out who's at fault, not for any other myriad things we do every single day that is a complete waste of time and energy and just resources, period. We get paid for producing results. That's the one thing that people will pay you for. It's the one thing that is guaranteed to always get you paid in life. And pay can be money, it can be attention, it can be love, it can be satisfaction, it can be whatever else you like. You know the things that you like. Whatever way you want to get paid, you produce results, you can have as much of that thing as you want. But you must produce results. Remember that your business is always based on that. In business, you are judged not by who is to blame, but by what results get produced. Or what results don't get produced. You'll be judged by that too. You don't produce results, people will judge you based on that, and you might not be around to be judged anymore if you're not producing enough results consistently enough. But if you are producing results, people will come to know you for that, and they will show up to pay you to get more results if they know that you're proven and they know that you have a track record. So if you don't have one, you should probably start building one. That's what I would do. I don't know. That's what I would do. I don't know what you're doing, but that's what I would do. Let's recap today's class, which is managing your frustrations. I told you the story already. Electricity got turned off. Mom got mad at me because I was the one who was the messenger, but I wasn't the person who had actually led to the situation. And I was reminded of that story when I was in the store, and for whatever reason, one card wasn't working. I realized I used a different card for a different transaction I shouldn't have. I had completely messed up. It was a complete oversight on my part, but I started to get annoyed at the entity that I had paid earlier in the day when it wasn't their fault. And I checked myself immediately. I fasted, my mom checked herself. Who knows if she has even checked herself even to this day off of that situation. But you got to learn how to manage your frustrations when things are not going the way that you want it, and do what I'm going to tell you to do here, what I'm going to prescribe to you in today's framework. Number one, leaders focus on solutions and not problems. Once a problem has been identified, the next step is solving it, and thus situating yourself so that you never had to deal with this issue again. While you may not be able to solve everything very simply, the focus on solving things makes you eligible to figure things out. A lot of people never become eligible because they focus on symptoms or they just focus on blame. Number two, leaders and change makers always assume ownership. Meaning they're always looking for ways to affect the situation instead of looking for somebody to blame in a situation. This requires you to control your emotions. I told you in masterclass number 560. Number 3, remember that the bigger the person, the bigger the problems they handle, like we talked about yesterday. You will incur frustration in the process of handling problems. I guarantee you that. Your job is to manage that frustration and thusly handle your business, and your business is based in results. It is not based in frustration. It is not based in blame. It is not based in finding who's at fault. Your business is based in producing results. Nobody cares about any of that other shit. All they care about is, do you produce results or do you not? And if you do, you'll be around. And if you don't, you will be gone. Work on your game. Dre all day.